One of the big things we can do is try to bring high-paying jobs to the community. It's one of the reasons I supported the SMART terminal. I thought it was a very good project that really could bring a lot of good-paying jobs. Good-paying jobs bring the availability of income so people can afford to buy a home, and that's one of the ways to increase affordability is to increase income levels, and also the expansion of the tax base that a project like that would bring would help alleviate some of the property tax burden on renters and businesses and other homeowners by expanding the tax base. As far as the code goes, there's one of the things that I supported this last year that I wanted to see taken out was the city initiated zoning. I don't think it's appropriate for the city to be initiating zoning. And one of the things I have supported in the past that was a change was adding ADUs for owner occupied. I think that is something that can help affordability as long as it's owner occupied and expand some housing.
The part about, I think we've learned something through COVID. I think that we've learned something through, we were learning that retail is taking a hit, and so part of our major tax base is that retail sale dollar that's going down. We've learned that we're kind of one-legged in our economy, and San Marcos has been here for so long because of two things: because of the river, because of the university, and those two things prevented us over the long term from becoming a ghost town like some of the other towns that really literally no longer exist if you know the city of San Marcos. So we are one-legged in our approach to economic development, and there was a time where we were very aggressive at seeking job bringers, and we were kind of good at it. Well, towns to our north and towns around us are getting much better at it, and they have an open palette with which to put stuff. We are kind of landlocked in because of the hill country is hard to build in, and then we've got limited amount of flatland space in there. So extending or expanding ETJ strategically, and then going after things specifically, like for instance, we have our nursing school, and at Texas State, it's a wonderful school. It's in Round Rock. That needs to come home, or things of that nature. Biotech, nursing, all of that stuff can come here. Technology can come here. Certain brands of technology we can be very good at. So extending that grab and reach and being aggressive in that way is important. Affordability, there's the philosophy of density, and density is like, let's go vertical, and here in downtown we can go 5 stories high with a council vote. I think we can punt to 7 stories high. What happens in that matter is, it's not like a hotel dollar, because a hotel dollar is taxed by the door. And so for when these major developments come in, they literally cast shadows on neighborhoods, and they put strains on our infrastructure. And so that money is put in by investors, and most of these investors they're not local. They're not even statewide. They're not even nationwide. These are international investment companies. They're coming into San Marcos because we're primed for it. And all those dollars are being vacuumed out. And it's a form of usury. And so we need to protect ourselves. We need to play well with business, but we also need to protect ourselves.
Kind of going to what I said besides, property tax relief, I really believe that everyone just needs to have a place at the table. We need to get the Chamber of Commerce. We need to get nonprofit organizations. We need to get small businesses to the table. We need to get just average residents here, lay people here to the table. We need to get the Greater San Marcos Partnership to the table. We need to do all that we can, and council to the table, to make sure that we're attracting large businesses, and not only large businesses that have many jobs, but living wage paying jobs. And not only that, but I really want to advocate for businesses that offer benefits as well. Because when you offer benefits, people don't have to go out there and get second jobs to afford health insurance, which is at record high for some people, especially when it's being threatened, on national level. But businesses like that. And I also really, really believe, coming from San Marcos High School, I know there are many students here and locals that decide not to pursue a higher education, which is okay. There's so many different avenues. And I really feel that we can have a partnership with these large businesses that we attract with the high school, so that we can provide proper training, so that once they graduate, they can actually have a workforce program that kind of leads into already these jobs that these large corporations and businesses will provide to our city, which will also create a tax base, which will be good for the city and just for everyone in general. So as far as preserving affordability, I don't think San Marcos is affordable at this point. That's why I'm so big on affordable housing. You know, it's definitely a big issue. We continue to see people moving out of town because they can't afford it, and we have an exclusionary zoning code that pretty much allows for, to be frank, apartments, large multifamily buildings with mixed use, things of that nature, and single detached family zoning. And not everyone can afford a house, a detached single family house, especially I know so many students that graduate from Texas State with record amount of debt, and they want to stay here. They love this town, they love the river, everything it has to offer, the small business community, and so they want to stay here. So we have to make sure that we provide housing for those people. And right now it's not affordable, so it's not about preserving, it's about creating affordability. And kind of just to touch on the land development, I know I'm out of time, but I just think that right now it's been adopted, but it hasn't been amended, so that would, or implemented, so that would be the first course of action.